room, you know what I expect. Shake hands and come out boxing.
I have to say, Audley Harrison looks in tremendous physical shape for this. He completed his training at the Moss Side Fire Station gym in Manchester, and that's the one thing he's really lacked so far in his career, fire. But can he come good late on and come for a late run and win himself the title shot he cherishes? He's got a lot to do, and he needs tonight to excite the boxing public. In with George Arias, a man who's won 19 Brazilian heavyweight championship fights, but he's giving away a lot of height, reach and weight here, Jim.
Yeah, but if you had to choose an opponent for Audley to look good against, maybe this is not your first choice, because he's awkward, he's tough, he's a good survivor. So Audley's going to have to think his way around this. If he can't prise the defence open, then he's going to have to just keep punching through that defence. What he can't do is stand off and allow this to be a boring spectacle. You hear the response from the crowd. They want him to perform, they want to get behind him, so it's all there for him if he can produce the goods.
As ever, Harrison looking to dominate with his southpaw jab and then whip in left hands. Just occasionally, when he's let loose in his career, he has looked the part, notably when stopping Danny Williams in 3 rounds. That was after he'd been, well, embarrassingly bad in their first fight, which he lost.
Well, he's letting the power shots go straight away, so he's got himself fired up. Hopefully that attitude will remain as long as this lasts.
Arias went the distance with Johnny Nelson on his last trip to Britain for a World Cruiserweight Championship fight. That was 7 years ago in East London. He's usually the durable sort, so Harrison will do well to stop him.
But when you look at the difference in size and weight, really, if it comes down to it, Harrison should be able just to force the referee to stop this, simply because he's not allowing Arias to throw anything and he's just pummeling him. But he's got to take charge, he's got to get on top of the little fellow, and he can't allow him to come forward like this.
Looks to let go with the body punches. So far, Harrison just pouring with the jab rather than really snapping it out. But that's a decent left hand to the body from him. He does have all the physical attributes, and when you win an Olympic gold medal, you can't be a mug.
Well, this is a nice positive looking start from him. It's the left hand. All the power shots have been coming from the left hand. As you say, he's not doing much with the jab, but I don't know that the jab is the answer for this fellow. I think the body shots, and he's going to have to put punches together to break him down. He won't be easy to prise open.
The frustrating thing really with Audley Harrison is that his inability to really take his chances in this division has come at a time when really the world heavyweight division is so threadbare. Anyone who can make a serious move has got to get into the mix, and quickly, you'd think.
Well, this is a good start, so hopefully this is how it's going to continue. He's looking sharp, focused, good opening round.
Well, a mixed reception for Harrison, in truth, after that opening round, but he won it. Meanwhile, backstage, Amir Khan is arriving for work. And after all the talk about this assignment with Brady Prescott, the unbeaten Colombian, being his most dangerous fight, he says, I'm not worried. I'll do the job in 6 rounds. He's a very, very likeable chap with an engaging personality. Bags and bags of talent, but he has had 1 or 2 scares along the way so far. Good support from him again tonight here. We're not far from his beloved Bolton here at the MEN Arena in Manchester. Amir Khan due up later, and of course Alex Arthur against Nicky Cook in what looks a cracking fight, world title fight at super featherweight. Back in the ring here live, Audley Harrison, round 2. He's won the first round, quite busy behind his jab and whipping in a few left hands as well.
Yeah, a rather unkind reaction from the crowd at the end of the round. I don't know that we could have expected Audley to do an awful lot more than he did. Maybe it's the obvious difference in size. Maybe people feel it should just really be moving right in and blowing this fellow down, but that's easier said than done. This guy's experienced, and he's a tough nut.
That's a good left hand. He picked the punch well. One of the problems Harrison's had in his career so far is he seemed a little like the reluctant warrior, a little unwilling to engage in the battle, to get down and dirty, as some people might say.
Yeah, it's the little spark that you can't put into fighters that Audley doesn't always show. I mean, he's massive, he has the talent, he's a southpaw. Although I have to say, not too many in the history of the heavyweight divisions, there's not been too many southpaws that we've actually liked. So it'd be nice if Audley was one of the first.
Just picking single punches at the moment, Harrison, which is done to the body, okay. Arias basically in survival mode, and you have to say, huge boos ringing already around the arena. Is that fair, Jim?
No, I think it's a little bit of mischief, if you like, in the crowd. I think maybe everybody knows Audley's reputation. His reputation has come before him. And I think it's a little bit of mischief because he's been throwing good punches. He's standing right in front of the guy. There's been no spoiling. There's been no clinching. It's decent enough to watch. So I think maybe the crowd have had in their mind that we're going to give him stick whatever happened. I wonder.
I think they want to see Harrison really opening up throwing combinations, but give the guy a chance. This is the early stages, and he won't know too much about Arias other than his record. Just dabbing away at his right eye there, Harrison. Can't see any blood or anything. Maybe something troubled him.
Yeah, I think that maybe the side of the glove just rubbed on his eyelash or whatever, but yet he's allowing this little fellow to come forward now, which can be a problem. See, I just think he's so massive that the size difference is so obvious. I think the fans expect him to blast this fellow out of there.
Well, I think this crowd reaction really is based on Harrison's career up to this point rather than what we're seeing from him tonight, to be quite fair to the man.
I mean, it's surprising because he really did get a good reception when they introduced him. I don't know what's turned him so quickly.
But what it does show is what a huge job he has to win over the British public. I mean, they are pretty cynical about him. He's won both the rounds here, but the crowd don't like it much. Back here at the Manchester Evening News Arena, here's Bradis Prescott, the lanky lightweight from Colombia, who's amassed a record so far of 19 straight wins with 17 knockouts. Okay, there have been a fair few cotton wool opponents in there, but he has beaten 3 unbeaten men, including last time out in Florida. So he won't be fazed about fighting away. Here's round 3 of this one. Audley Harrison against Brazilian heavyweight champion George Arias. Brazilians in the news this week in Manchester with Robinho's big move to Manchester City.
Well, we know Audley has to shine. And I have to say, when this match was made, straight away I thought, well, he has a job in his hands, because I don't think anybody's going to look good against Arias. Lovely uppercut.
Yeah, he did get a good reception from the crowd for that. They just want to see, I think, some real devil and dynamite from Harrison. Of course, he had that major setback last year when Michael Sprott beat him in 3 rounds, a tremendous punch which laid out Harrison and really left a serious dent in his credentials for any possible world title tilt. And set him back a long way. Good uppercut there from Arias on the inside, and then a body shot from the Brazilian.
I think you'll probably start seeing the crowd actually cheering what Arias comes up with. A little bit more mischief. But Audley's gone to sleep a little bit. That's what I was worried about. He set a good pace in the first couple of rounds. He's dropped that pace. He's winding punches up. That's better.
A very good left cross from Harrison at the end of that. He's looking for uppercuts as well here. And there's a right hand in. It just seemed to splay the legs of Harrison for a moment, that punch.
Well, you wonder if he's regained his confidence since the Sprott result. But as I said, the fans are actually cheering when Arias comes forward now. Just the David and Goliath syndrome, I think.
Well, Harrison's trainer, the American Phil Torrance, a well-respected man in the business, was saying to me this week he thinks at last Harrison is listening to him. He said the penny's dropped now. I've got his head. He's mentally right for this business as well as physically right. But of course the proof's in the pudding every time, isn't it?
Yeah, and he's definitely dropped the pace in this round. He hasn't been busy. Arias doing a lot of work up close. Arias is coming forward, which is the last thing you need. And as I expected, the fans cheering everything Arias comes up with.
1 or 2 successes for Arias, but to be fair to Harrison, he snapped back with a good left hand of his own there. But this fellow isn't just a total mug, though. He did fairly well against Johnny Nelson. Well, this is getting interesting here. Arias got into the fight a bit in that third round. I think he might have stunned Harrison with one briefly, you know.
Yeah, but I think he might have done because there was a noted, that's the time he rubbed his eyes. That was a shot right through the middle, bang on the chin, and that definitely seems to trouble Harrison. He went to sleep after that. Really dropped the pace all the way through that round. Arias really got himself into things.
Here's round 4. And Harrison's been really getting the bird from the Manchester boxing public here. But it's almost as if they made up their mind from the word go. They were going to give him a hard time tonight. It's a good left uppercut and another one too. And maybe their reaction is just spurring Harrison a little bit. But it was a bit worrying the way he seemed to be stunned by a right hand from the Brazilian in that last round.
There is again, it's worrying the fact that it was the first time he got clipped with a punch. I don't know if it was surprise or if he was actually shaken by it, but we didn't like the reaction too much. Not impressed with Harrison's southpaw jab. Decent right hook there, but the jab, there's nothing in it. He's just popping with it.
It's just a rangefinder, isn't it? I mean, it's a powder puff weapon. He should be snapping that out and snapping back Arias' head with it. And Arias is talking to him in there now.
But that's the reason Arias can get close, because the jab has no power in it. He's just popping, trying to set up the left hand. And Arias sees it coming and he's blocking them.
Got a good defence, the Brazilian. He's been around a long time and lands with another right hander as Harrison just dropped his gloves for a moment. Arias looks like he's getting interested in the job here, doesn't he? And that's a decent uppercut from him as well. Listen to the crowd. They are supporting this Brazilian against Audley Harrison. Make of that what you will.
Yeah, well, I expected that to happen, Ian. But I tell you, I mean, Arias could well be a better 10-round fighter than Audley Harrison is. Audley's big. He's a little bit stiff at times. He burns up a lot of energy, but this little fellow, with the style that he's developed, he can go on all night long, and this maybe get tougher for a Harrison doing nothing at the moment.
Arias has a little edge, I fancy, in hand speed as well. He's operated as a cruiserweight in the past as well. Only landed on the gloves. He was just off balance, really.
Yep, that looked good, but the punch was blocked. Harrison losing his way a little bit. Has to start using his physical advantages to dominate this fellow. Not doing that.
Just single punches from Harrison. I think that's a legacy from the amateur days and the push-button scoring we see, the computer. The combinations don't really pay you, do they, in that? And of course he was an amateur till he was nearly 30.
Yeah, and I think also he thinks a lot about defence.